everybody. Hello, I'm Anita Finley. I'm your Zoomer Times TV host here in South Florida. And the weather's beautiful here. Maybe not so much. I think up in the north, they're going to get a big snowstorm, but it's okay. And I have one of our very precious people, our guest, who is Roberta Hladek, who runs this great organization called AIM, the AIM program. And it's all about energetic influences in your life, and if any. And the one thing, good morning. I just want to ask you something. Good morning, Roberta.
Good morning.
You're in, of course, Las Vegas. I see where there's something coming together, Jupiter and something else, and there's a lot of big energy pool outside. Does that affect your organization at all?
I think it affects all of us personally, each of us individually and what have you. So sometimes during these different astrological times, we do get more people questioning the way they're feeling, that they might be more anxious, or some of our autistic participants have anger issues during those times.
Oh.
So sometimes we need to take a look and see if there's something that we can add frequency-wise to help our vibration to be lifted so that we can leave that stuff behind and be at a happier place.
So I was wondering if I went outside when this is happening and say, hey, give me all the energy. I mean, I wondered, I used to go outside a lot more and look up all the time. Look up. That's what I always did. And I haven't been doing that as much, but I was thinking it would be a good thing to do now. Is it tonight or was it last night? I forget.
Well, we had a meteor shower for a few days,
Yeah.
And I think, I'm not for certain, but something tells me it was over on the 14th, but I could be incorrect. But
okay.
I think sometimes those things, we should look up, and you've got me doing that. Every time I go outside, I think of you saying, look up. So I always look up when I get out of the car coming here to the office. I look up. Hey, come on.
I'm looking up right now because I'm looking out my window and I see the blue sky, the white clouds, and I do try to do that and imagine things. But let's just talk about, you're in a perfect position to help people who are listening, people who are concerned. We've been pushed a lot this year, but maybe not as much as some people across the world who haven't had food. They've been shot at by, various military groups in their countries. And maybe what we're going through is play games compared to it. I don't mean the people who are dying. Of course, there's 300,000 people probably died, but we live pretty comfortably when you think about what's out there, don't we?
I think so. And I think a lot of times we're spoiled. And we've had this little bump in the road, and it's been a long bump, I granted, and it's not been fun. We've missed our families, and we haven't been able to go to church. A lot of us haven't been able to work. There's been a lot of bumps in the road, but overall, when you talk about these other countries being, having military groups shooting at them and such, knock on wood, we don't have that.
Right.
But we have this little bump in the road that maybe we can't find a particular item in the store because it's sold out.
Right.
I've heard people in the store getting angry because there isn't a particular type of pasta there. But
yeah, I know, that's so silly. I know.
One there, so I kind of look at it and I think, you know what? Be glad you're healthy. You're able to walk. You're able to talk. You're able to buy pasta. You're able to go into a store. So we have to, when I talk to some of my participants that I hear from and our facilitators and stuff, I try and pump them up with, health is wealth. And as long as you're healthy, you've got it licked, basically. The other things, we can deal with them. We have support, we can go, a lot of in the states and our counties and what have you, there's places, food banks. Here at the casinos, they've been having food bank lines.
Really? How wonderful.
And they give out food to a lot of the musicians and entertainers are out of work. And you might think, oh, they make tons of money. You'd be very surprised that their wages aren't that great. And a lot of them, our unemployment benefits have kind of dwindled down. So it's tough. And so the casinos have been doing this all along. And they've been one day a week, they have a food bank type thing for the entertainers and such to come and get some, food items for the week or what have you. So we have things and we have support. So, we've been trying to help out some of those folks and, get food bags together and drop them on doorsteps so that, because it's also a thing of pride. You don't want to say, hey, are you starving? Here's a bag of food. We just kind of drop them off, or we give to certain organizations that help out these folks. And so we're lucky in the United States. We are lucky that we have these organizations together, because I don't believe that the other countries, now I don't know for sure, I don't know what kind of organizations they have to help out people. So I keep telling everybody, and I go, you know what, this is just a glitch. We're going to get past this. We got to all stick together and be positive and, put your thinking cap on. There's different ways that you can come through this. So, get fit. A lot of this virus that's going on and the people that are succumbing to the virus, they may not be taking care of themselves as well. And it's a weird thing. Some people can be super healthy and get it and not do so well, where somebody else may. So it's hard to say, but if you keep yourself, I guess where I'm going with this is to keep yourself healthy in your mind and your spirit and your body. So while we're, homebound or whatever's going on in the state we're living or the city, walk around the house, get exercise, sit out in the sun for 15 minutes and get your vitamin D. That does a world of difference. And just the activity, instead of sitting on the couch and watching TV or being on the computer and watching the news and all this stuff, it can be pretty mind-boggling, depressing. So get up and do something and try and help others. Maybe, get out and take a hike. There's things that we can do. Bundle up. Some places it's very cold and the snowstorms, you can't really do that. But, there's things we can do to keep ourselves, on a more positive note.
I'm listening to you and I have a big smile on my face because I love talking to you. You're always so positive. But actually, I was thinking about pets. They've had a ball during this time because everybody's gotten the pets. There are no pets to be found in the shelters because people realize pets are the most loving, and it's a good way to have somebody to hug and talk to. I talk to my dog all the time. But I'm thinking about what you just said. It's funny. I've learned a lot from this. Now, this is a silly thing I'm going to tell you. When I use toilet paper, I just take a big bunch of toilet paper for a little pee. But now I don't. I take off a piece or two and use it. I've done a lot of other things. I eat a little differently. I've always eaten with good health in mind, but now I'm just even eating differently. And so I don't go to the grocery store the same way. I plan my meal in the sense, okay, I'm going to make a pot of vegetable soup, and now that'll last me for 3 days. And so if what you said, if people would adhere to that, Roberta, people can be better off when all this disappears. That they've learned something from it. And of course, people who've had losses of, people who've died, that's something different. That's not something people can get away with the way we're talking. But there are a lot of people, I don't know anyone. As a matter of fact, only one person do I know whose housekeeper died from COVID. I don't know of anyone else close to me. Do you?
I know of one person that succumbed to it. I know him personally, but it was through organization.
Right.
And he had some health issues, some big health issues, and it was just it was just the one thing that he just didn't have the strength to move through it. So
Right. Well, a lot of people in the offices, my son's a lawyer, and his one of his assistants, uh, husband and child got COVID, and she had to stay home. She didn't get it. My son had to get a test every couple of days to check that he didn't bring it to his family. He came to see me yesterday, a few days ago, and he doesn't come to my apartment. He just stays outside, and we was in the lobby. So we're being very cautious. So I think that's
yeah,
what it requires. People who
it
don't
does.
believe this, it's too bad.
Well, it's yeah, we just have to be conscious of it and conscious of other people's feelings, whether you believe it or you think it's overblown or whatever. And it's hard to know in our world these days. It's hard to know what you're hearing, and you get barrage of things if you're on Facebook and Instagram and Parlor and all these other organizations. You get a barrage of news, and who knows what is right and what is what is the correct thing. What are we really hearing? Take the politics and all that out of it, and let's just be down to the bare bones of this and what is really going on. And it's hard to decipher that, but if you just play by the rules right now, that's all we can do. And like, I haven't seen my mom since March, and I talk to her all the time on the phone, and I send her things, but it's not the same, and I'm
You wear a mask when you go out. You wear a mask though, don't you?
Yes. And
I
you
do
wash
too.
your hands, and
Right.
you're careful with everything at home. I wash my counters with either peroxide or alcohol, whatever I have. I keep
Right.
light switches. You just have to be conscious of it. And
Right.
between myself and my other half, who's a musician who's home now, we're really careful with what we're doing. And when he goes into the studio to meet with his group, they all are very careful about what they're doing, and how they're working and how far apart they are. They're very conscious of it. And so I think we just have to be conscious of it. And like I was saying before, keep your exercise routine if you can, or get into one. I have a stationary bike at home, and I made myself a vow that while I was, from now on, and I've done this before, but I say, if I'm going to watch a TV program, I have to ride the bike.
Right. Smart.
I've been stepping it up, and I'm up to level 7 now.
Wow. So now that's a good part of all this.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to, because a friend of mine's gained 40 pounds, he told me, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I told him to get out and start walking and quit eating, but he said he's become such a great cook. And I know that's what we have too at home. My other half has become a fabulous cook. He's been very conscious of our health too, but he's been making really healthy meals. And we've been doing what you did, making the pot of chili or a pot of stew, or we made a ham the other day, and we said, wow, this is going to last us like 10 days. We can freeze all this, So, you just we're just trying to make it work, and you just got to stay positive and try and laugh it off, but be careful.
Well, Roberta Hladek is the chief operator here of the AIM program. And it's something I hope you will all get on, since you're home. Hopefully people watching this are home. Get on the web. Go to aimprogram is it .org?
.com.
.com, right.
Yeah.
Go to aimprogram.com. And I want you to really look at all this, because I've been a part of this for many, many years, and we're so fortunate that there's an organization. It's rare. There are not many of them anywhere in the country like this, that really can make a difference in your life. And if you're looking for something that's different and good, and it uses the energy that surrounds us, I really do urge you to get onto that website, aimprogram.org. .com, excuse me, aimprogram.com. It's so beneficial for people. If you have an autistic person in your family or Down syndrome, they have a special offer for those people. For those of you who remember Wayne Dyer, and I certainly hope that you do, I have his books and I do go through them every so often, but he was 100% for this organization. He didn't do that casually, but he understood what they do. So you've had a lot of people like this in your life, in your whole business area, haven't you, throughout the years?
Yes, we have. And Wayne was an amazing guy, and yes, I listened to his tapes. He's timeless. His quotes, they're just appropriate for today. It's pretty interesting. I'm on one of the websites that sends you a quote from him every day. So
Yes.
that's kind of inspirational, right? And keeps us kind of going. But we do have several others that are on our program that are very instrumental in our spiritual well-being, like Reverend Michael Beckwith. He's here with Agape Church in Los Angeles, and he's been a partner or a participant, I should say, of the AIM program for years and years and years. And same with Wayne. And we've had several others that have been just really great. And you can go to our website. I even have some photos of different people that come into the office that we've taken photos with to promote. They want us to promote the AIM program and show that they're on the program. We have famous drummer, we have famous bass player, we have a famous singer. I mean, you can go on there and check it out. It's kind of fun to see the who's who, I guess. But
is your husband on it? I haven't seen him. I need to know who he is.
Yes, he's on the program, and he has been.
No. Is he? If I look on your website, will I see him?
Yes, he's actually in the video that we do, the second video about the AIM program.
Okay, I'm going to go back and look at that.
Yeah, he does a testimonial for us, and he's actually playing the drums in it.
Okay. You know,
So,
yeah, and I want to do also share something. There are people who don't really have a goal. You know, they just move from one foot to the other, they walk around. But if you would really get on something like this, you could really look at yourself, look in the mirror, and say to yourself, I'm here. What am I doing with my life? And I wanted to just take a moment to, I want to go back to the food a minute. I didn't mean to jump into this because of food. I now have a very special 2-minute food I want to tell you about. You're going to love it. It's healthy. You know, bananas are very good for you, and usually you buy them and they always go soft. So I've been freezing them to put in smoothies, but you can only have so many. So when I do this, I take a very, very ripe banana, mush it up and put it into a dish, a deep dish. And I take, because I'm watching my cholesterol, I take an egg, and I crack it, and I use the white, and I use a tiny bit of yolk, just a little bit of it. And then I get spinach, you know, the fresh spinach. And I put a bunch of that in, and I mix it all up over and over and over for maybe about a minute. I put it into the microwave for 2 minutes, Roberta. It is like a dessert, and it's full of health. It's banana, the egg white, and the spinach. You will love this. Your husband will love this.
We'll have to give it a shot. That sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Easy to do and so healthy. It's the spinach, it's the banana mushed up, and the egg white with a little of the egg in it. And I don't put any salt, pepper, nothing on it. It's like a dessert, and it's so filled with health. Okay, I'll get off that, but I needed to tell you that. Okay, now I want to tell you, I've been reviewing a lot of books, some of which this time are incredible. One book that it surprised me. I wasn't ready for it. You know, it's going to come out in our January issue. It's called The Bullying Pandemic.
Oh.
And it's written by a school teacher. It's about, I think it's like 400 pages. And it talks about a lot of her students who really had bullying issues in their family, that they carry it forward. Have you had any relationships or anything with bullying? Is this new for you? It was new for me.
I've heard of it, and I've heard people have experience with it, but personally, I haven't been in contact with that. I haven't, but I do hear about it from some of my staff with their kids in school saying, some of them have been bullied over the years. And, but I haven't personally been involved.
But this is now actual people. They talk about, in fact, I have a family member who I'm not going to share who that is. And I was mentioning the book and she said, oh, my father bullied me and my brothers all the time. It was terrible. Really? Oh yeah. And that's why she claims some of the problems they've had in their life. And when I read this book, page after page after page with all the people who are now grown and what happened to them, and then then the kids, see it and then they follow through with it. It's a whole new thing in my life. And I was just curious if any of your clients have talked about it.
I haven't heard anything, just like I said, just the staff telling me about kids in school. That's the only bullying thing that I've experienced through them. But
I bet your facilitators have had stories because they're the ones who get into their lives.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'll have to bring that up on our next call when I have calls.
Yeah.
A couple times a month with the facilitators, and we talk about what's going on and what have you. And so I'll have to bring it up and ask them, and I'll bring up the book. I wrote it down. So
yeah, and you'll see it when you get the January issue. But the other thing I was thinking about, for people who are having autistic problems or people with Down syndrome, that they've been bullied.
Yeah, unfortunately, definitely. I'm sure that they have. And that's so unfortunate because we need to have a little more love, for those that are different than us, just because they're a little different, we should support that.
And I know some people, of course, who've had Down syndrome. I was part of an organization on the board, and I used to watch how they, they were growing in the sense, and they have one little accomplishment, and it is so beautiful. And now though, they don't hide them. People like that used to be put into, not cages, but they were in rooms, they're at home, no one paid attention, or they were ashamed of them. And now they're out working. It's great what our society here has done. They do have lots of organizations that encourage them, and and the parents just love them so much.
And they're amazing people. We have an organization here called Opportunity Village, and it's a woman who had a son with Down syndrome. So she started the organization, and it is so beautiful. And at Christmas time, well, this year we didn't get to do it, but you can buy a tree and decorate it from your company. And then it's a donation that you put in. And then you can do a walk through there, and it's like a Christmas thing. They have little booths set up, and they have a couple little rides that take you on a little tour of the whole place. And then the police come, and they have a little mobile unit that they show you what kind of goes on. They have a little video, and you get to meet the officers, and they have a police dog there, and it's just different organizations. And then they have a store, and they always do a movie, some kind of a Christmas movie, and you can buy hot chocolate and such. But then they have a store, and the people that are there at the school, or it's kind of like it's a huge place, but where they train them, and they train them to be able to be productive and to go into work and things. They make things, and they make amazing things. Like one year they had tissue paper that you could wrap your presents in. It was so fun. And they make ornaments, and just, you name it, they make it. And they're there working, and you can meet them. And it's just an amazing thing. And you pay, I don't know, it's like $20 or $15 a ticket. And I took my niece there a few years ago, and she absolutely loved it. And she's a teacher, so it gave her some ideas for things she could do with her kids and stuff. And it's an amazing place. And this woman has dedicated her life to this, and she bought the property, and it's incredible. But that's just what we do here in Las Vegas. So I'm sure every city, every state has something that they do, but she's a pretty awesome lady.
I loved your idea about the tree. It got my brain going here.
Mhm.
So if you decorate a tree, it could be from different donations or something. And that's really nice. I was thinking of our expo in a sense of how we could, well, you know, we haven't had the expo. I see now that some people are trying to put on expos, and I've been trying to figure that out, how we can do it, because our older adults are not going to go to a place, but I think they all know about Zoom now. We have to figure out maybe what we can do. I don't know. It's not clear in my mind yet.
Yeah, it would be kind of interesting to do it via Zoom. I'm not sure how, but the tree thing is kind of interesting because you could figure out something that the people that want to donate or sponsor, they could have. This is so cool because you walk through, it's a long walk of all these trees, and we were going to do it
Must
this
be beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And it has the, you know, it's like lawyers do it and doctors and, you know, cookie places and restaurants and you name it, auto shops. There was one, it was an auto shop and it had little tools on it. And then it had signs. It was, you know, so-and-so automotive. It was so cute. It was the greatest idea. And clothing companies, you know, just, you know, whatever. Some of the grocery stores had trees there, and it's just kind of neat because you get to see the local vendors and some of our small mom and pop shops that you want to go to and support during this time. They were all up there. So this year it was kind of sad because we didn't get to do it. And every year I've gone. So kind of bummer, but you know, hopefully next year we'll be able to do it and we'll have our own tree there.
Yeah, my guest is Roberta Hladek, and we are talking about the aimprogram.com, and that's the website. And I will give you the phone number, but it's better to get on the website. It's 702-944-1801. But if you get on the website, you'll get to see Roberta. You know, we haven't talked about this, but part of what we've been saying, Zoom came about because of came about as much because of this pandemic. And now it's been much better. I know you've been on a radio show for so many years, but now we see you talking as it is. We see, I'm there. I attended a funeral on Zoom just recently. There were 20 people there, and they each got to talk about their loved one. And I also just attended a very big organizational meeting for elders, and it was really quite good, I must say. Are you doing any large meetings on Zoom?
I'm going to start because we haven't, but we have a quarterly founder call, and I want to do it via Zoom. And I think I'm going to try and do our facilitator calls. We have like a couple times a month, and I'd really like to try and get on Zoom so we can all see each other because we haven't seen each other in a long time, and it would be fun to see my participants because I used to go out and travel and I got to see them, but it would really be fun because this is so much fun. I get to put a face with a voice, and I even got to meet the puppy, and it's been fun.
Are we out of time, Dan?
We are.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, it's been wonderful. We always run out of time. We never plan what we're going to say, but it's always so interesting, Roberta. So thank you so much. I make my little banana spinach souffle, and we'll talk. I'm going to get on the website and see your husband.
Okay. You guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
You too, sweetie.
Thank you.
Yes, you too.
And to you
Thank
too.
you, Roberta.
I love your life.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, no, you have your lighting. Oh, look at Dan. He did that especially for you.
Great.
Right.
Talk to you soon.
All righty.
Bye. Stay safe, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, you too.
Bye, everybody. We'll be back with another interview shortly.